Do not buy new windows if you live in New Jersey. America. Do not buy new windows if you live in New Jersey.
Sorry about that. My mic was messed off there. Stephen A. Smith for president. We've lost our damn minds. We've lost our damn minds. What is happening? All right, let me send out some notifications here. I put a little FU after it. Just so everyone knows. Fuck. Hello, Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay. Sorry, everybody. I got to put out some things. Everything's going okay. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. Amy, what's going on, Amy? Where the heck have you been, Amy? What's up, Moon? What's up, Scoozy? What's up, Laura? Sup, Emily? I'm sitting at Kroger and has a truck with a Trump flag flying around. Ew. Ew. All right, dude. Yeah, but it actually helps more if you... why is my sound fucked up? I don't know. It doesn't sound right, my sound. I don't know. Oh, my sound... Hear me? Do you hear me better now? Jesus, that was low. I don't like that. I can be louder than that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, everyone.
You know who's going to fix these problems, Sagar?
Who?
President Stephen A. Smith.
Honestly.
We've lost the freaking plot, dude. Like, we've lost the plot. Should we just have, like, No Neck Ed from, what was that show again? Housewives something. What is it again? Marry a Stranger, whatever the fuck. Yes, you can become member. You can become a member now, Amy. You can also do super chats. We are completely monetized. Although YouTube's now going to take like 3 weeks to fucking pay me because of AdSense, but you know how it goes. Tis the world of this social media's. LVZ No Buck Dancing says, Adam, on behalf of the black community, let me say that no to Stephen A. We will never vote for a bootlicker like him. I can't speak for the black community. First of all, LVZ, thank you for the $10 super chat, but I have to agree with you. You know, I can't speak for the black community, but I will say he is absolutely a fucking bootlicker. He's been complimentary of Donald Trump. I mean, fuck. But let's see what he has to say, right? Let's be fair. Let's be fair, Muppets. Okay? And at least give him a shot to explain himself. All right? Let's be fair. Let's go. Laura, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, how was your sushi last night? It was very good. It was very good. We had tuna. It was shrimp tempura or something like that. Let's watch this and we'll go from there. Thank you, Laura, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. It's greatly appreciated, the support, everyone. Thank you so much for all of you that do send super chats and become members and all that. I appreciate you.
You could do worse. You could definitely do worse.
I told you, he's against weed. I'm pro Stephen A.
Is he really?
Yeah, his Stay Off the Weed is one of the most famous clips.
Really?
I didn't even know about it. Our
pull it?
producer. Yeah, I guess we should have. Yeah.
Well,
Thank you, Stephen.
In
Thank
any
you for
case,
preaching against the dangers of the neurotoxin cannabis.
Sensing a dearth of talent on the Democratic side, Stephen A. Smith is floating the idea, maybe he'll take a run at the presidency the next time around. Let's take a listen to what he's had to say.
I'm trying to help. I don't want to see you get your ass kicked in another election. I don't want to see you lose in the midterms. I don't want to see you lose 4 years from now in advance with J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or...
I knew he was going to be performative as shit. Emily, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Emily's Blunt. Actually, I think that's a super sticker, Emily's Blunt. But thank you so much, Emily. Appreciate you, Emily.
or somebody being the next president of the United States just because they're opposite you. I want the best candidate for the country to win. That cannot happen. That can't happen if you have no voice. But I was just trying to make a profound point, and that is that I think the Democratic Party in the state that they find themselves in, I think somebody like me could actually win. I certainly think that I could beat any of those candidates that you put on the screen. I can tell you that right now.
How would you know that? Stephen, it's not just about having the gift of gab, right? And Stephen is a sportscaster on social media and a sportscaster on television. And yeah, he can talk shit. Like, he talks a good amount of shit. But that's not all it's about, Stephen, right? Like, do you know how government works? Like, and when you are presented with, you know, difficult questions about government and things like that, can you answer those questions? I honestly believe he thinks he can. So his answer to me probably would be yes. I don't know. I'm willing to give everyone a listen at this point. We're so fucking upside down and fucked that, like, I'm willing to give just about anyone a listen. That's how desperate we are right now. That's how absolutely desperate we are. LVZ said, my channel is dedicated to getting Stephen A. Smith off TV since 2013. My AdSense blocked since 2017. That sucks. But thank you for the $5 super chat, LVZ. Leah, thank you for the $5 super chat, Leah. Appreciate it. Let's hear what he has to say. Leah, thank you for the super sticker, Leah.
I certainly think if I was running up against somebody like you, I would win that race too. So when you think about the candidates that you possibly go up against, why don't you run for some sort of office? I think you'd be great. You'd have my vote. Please answer. Huge fan. Peace and love. First of all, the only office I would ever be interested in is the presidency of the United States. That's it. I wouldn't be interested in being a governor, a mayor, a senator, damn sure not a congressman. I don't want to be one of 435. I don't think I would be a very good campaigner because I ain't the greatest in the world at shaking hands and kissing babies. But I know I'd make decisions and I wouldn't hesitate. We gonna do business in the United States. Businesses ain't gonna be scared to open their doors and only let 2 or 3 people in at a time because somebody gonna get robbed. Oh, hell no, not under my watch.
So I have consumed a lot of Stephen A. Smith over the past number of years because Kyle loves this guy.
Really? That's hilarious.
Yes, even though his politics are very centristy. Leftists.
No, let's stop calling it centrist. It's not centrist. It's placating to Republicans. It's not centrist. Okay? He just placates to Republicans because he likes to go on Sean Hannity's show.
Are sharing.
That's really what it is. Amy says, missed you, Daddy. Missed you too, Amy. Thank you for the $4.99, Amy. Appreciate you, Amy.
A tweet that he put out years ago where it was like, listen to Bernie Sanders and he's exactly right about everything. To be like, oh, maybe. And
by the way, after this, I'm going to pull up Stephen A. Smith talking on Sean Hannity's show just to show you how backwards he is. Because if you're thinking right now that he like is a left-wing person, he's not. He's totally gross.
Maybe, but I mean, we know his politics are very like normie, always hewing to the center. He's real buddy-buddy with Sean Hannity. Loves this, loves
Damn, she read my mind. I swear to God I didn't watch this clip beforehand. Swear to God.
him, loves the whole mantra of bipartisan sort of norms, etc. But he is at least charismatic. He is at least charismatic. Talented. He's at least unafraid of like.
Why do people try and say this like Harris wasn't charismatic? Can we just establish right now that Harris was incredibly like I think Kamala Harris was charismatic. I really do. I think she had charisma. I do. I think she lacked in other areas like policy, support from outside influences, but I don't think she lacked charisma. I really don't. I actually think she had some charisma. I really do.
He's not afraid of controversy. He's not afraid of, actually saying what he thinks. And
I don't think Stephen A. Smith has any more charisma than she did.
And stating it in a clear and unequivocal manner. And I think in terms of putting aside my own political ideological project, I think so much of the discussion, especially after this loss about how does this issue pull and that issue pull, and maybe they should have, said a little bit more about this or said a little bit more about that based on the polling, et cetera, et cetera. I really think one of the core issues for Democrats is just a lack of someone who is compelling, who will say something brash, defend it, be unafraid, not be, a shrinking violet and running from every controversy, who could certainly go on any podcast Stephen A. Smith could and make his case and be comfortable and be likable and all those sorts of things. If Democrats want to win again, they do need to look for a character who is like Stephen A. Smith. And just in terms of winning, again, not in terms of what I want to see ideologically happen, just in terms...
No, that's not what we need. Oh, my God. Dude, we're in so much trouble, dude. That is not what we fucking need. Jesus Christ. Peppermint, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Says, thanks for being you, Adam. Thank you for being you, Peppermint. Appreciate the support, seriously. Allison, thank you for upgrading to a Muppet Masher, Allison. Thank you, Allison. So thank you, Peppermint, for the $10 super chat. Seriously, thank you so much for the support. Thank you to all of you that are supporting the new channel. Appreciate you so much. Indebted to you greatly. And Allison, thank you for upgrading to a Muppet Masher. We have 3 tiers if you want to join. We have Tadpole, Muppet Masher, and Mastermind of Muppetry. And Muppet Mashers and Mastermind of Muppetry, first of all, are going to be able to get to come up on the live and talk and ask questions, blah, blah, whenever they want during the segment that I do that. Hopefully we're starting that next week. Mastermind of Muppetry is first in line, and then Muppet Mashers. But that group will have access to be able to come up in the guest box as allies, basically people I agree with. I'm not bringing up random people, but I'll bring up members to the channel, Muppet Masher and above, to be guests. So that's one of the benefits of their membership, is they're going to be able to just come up during the segment I have.
In terms of winning, that is very much...
Adam looks like he's sitting at the desk. What do you mean? I am. Yeah, so what do you think about Stephen A. Smith?
The direction that they need to pursue, more so than any of the poll-tested adjusting themselves on this issue or that issue, et cetera.
Yeah, it gets to a vibe question. I think that's objectively true. It's willingness to fight. Remember what was the top word that people associated with the first weeks of the Trump administration? Energetic. Right? Mm-hmm. That's a real part of it. I mean, people have made fun before, but I've talked about how so much of the Kennedy presidency was just described by vigor, as they used to say.
The presidency or the campaign? Because the Kennedy presidency was about getting shit done. That's what it was about. It was out standing up for what's right and putting pressure on, before it was known as the deep state,
At the time, as people...
The bureaucracy, as they call it today.
Were just amazed after you had the 60-year-old president, Eisenhower, who was golfing all the time, with this 40-year-old young guy who turned out to be on meth, who is currently, he's just everywhere. He's always appeared young and vibrant, in front of the camera. And that...
Let's see if we can get another one here.
Stephen A. Smith, do we have president in the car soon?
Well, first of all, my suit game is going to be top notch, no doubt.
Immaculate.
But I got to tell you this, more so than the presidency or anything, I would love to be on stage for a presidential debate.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to be on stage
ratings will be high.
going up against cats. Like 50 million people watching
The
me
ratings will be
debate
high.
you on policy and some of the trifling stuff you've done as a politician. Oh, name the time and place. I show up for that.
We on it.
Look, I have no desire to be a politician.
This is before what he said today.
I'm a commentator. I've been a journalist for 30 years. To me, it's social commentary.
Stephen A. Smith, do we have president in the car soon?
Well, first of all, my suit game is going to be...
I'll tell you one thing. He does dress good, though. He does. He is a fire dresser, but a politician, I don't know. I think we've fallen off. I think we have fallen off. Let me see if I can pull up the clip that I was talking about earlier. Oh, there we go.
I think the Democratic Party in the state that they find themselves in, I think somebody like me could actually win. I certainly think that I could beat any of those candidates that you put on the screen. I can tell you that right now. I certainly think if I was running up against somebody like you, I would win that race too. So when you think about the candidates that you possibly go up against,
I'm running. If you run, I'll run.
Listen. You have no chance in hell of beating me because you're too rigid. You don't have any patience for people that disagree with.
I beg Sean Hannity to run. Please. I really want to dig into your life. Sid says, personally not a fan of Smith's ego, hoping he finds sparks and interest in the left, finding the right candidate for the next time. Whenever that is. I think he's serious after what he said today. I just don't think that he has any shot. Look, we're so far away. They asked Jeffries about this today. I believe it was Jeffries they asked about this today. Yeah, you gotta become a member through your browser, I believe. Not everybody's had to do it through their browser, but I do believe you need to do it through your browser. So you might want to check that out and see if that is true. I don't know if that's true or not. Check it out.
You would...
I mean, they asked them a question today, and I'm sure if you're of the type of person who just always hates the one team and loves what the other one does, they asked them a question about the crash. They said, will you visit the crash site? Now, every other politician would go, of course, it was a tragedy. And he went, it's the water. What do you want me to do, swim there? You know? And I was like, exactly, fuck right. You're exactly right. It's a stupid question, and you got just the answer you deserve. I mean, they asked them a question today, and
What's the biggest difference between being a U.S. Senator and being the Secretary of State?
Well, two things. First of all, my boss is President Trump is a person that...
This is a perfect example of why President Trump always has to be on guard against these so-called reporters.
George Washington.
This clip, Rob, if you don't mind playing this.
The existential threat to President Trump's administration is not in federal court. What President Trump is doing is constitutional. The appellate courts will say that. The Supreme...
When I posted on TikTok, that went from maybe a few hundred of people knowing about.
I swear to God, like, it is... The Democratic Party has become the Republican Party. Do you know what I mean by that, though? Like, we talk so much about the Democratic Party being in shambles. Like, we've talked about it so much, how the Republican Party was in shambles. Like, Donald Trump is running. Remember in 2016, we're like, oh my God, this is how, they're a joke. They're a literal joke. They have a celebrity running for president. Oh my God, a celebrity's going to get the nomination. Now look at us. They have somehow reversed this, and now Democrats are the fucking joke.
The Democrats went radical left. They picked new party leaders. They're struggling to find out who to rally behind in 2028. A recent poll of potential presidential nominees shows former Vice President Kamala Harris in the lead at 33%, followed by former...
I can't do that through OBS. I'm using OBS, so that's why it shows some commercials.
Transportation Secretary, pothole Pete Buttigieg at 9%, Gavin Newsom at 7%, and the recent vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz, sits at 3%. 1 point behind him is our friend, Stephen A. Smith, who is currently the star of First Take on ESPN, and he said he might consider a run. Really, Stephen? Look.
The Democratic Party looks so pathetic after this election. I might entertain running. I just might change my mind one day.
Can we be real though? He's right about that. Like, can we be real? Can we be honest with each other? He is right. Democratic Party does look pathetic. Let's be honest. You know, the truth is the truth.
I doubt it, but I might. Because how much would it take to beat y'all? And Trump can't run again.
Now, Stephen A. also has come out strong against Trump's recent actions to dismantle the DEI wokeness that took over our government under Biden and, of course, before him, Barack Obama. And he is preparing for a presidential run. Let's ask him. Stephen A., how are you? Okay, what you said is, I might entertain running for president. You can't afford the pay cut by your own admission. And if you run, your party would never nominate you because you're far too reasonable, although I have a couple of bones to pick with you tonight.
Yeah, you agree with me sometimes. That's reasonable.
Well, first of all, but number one, you're absolutely right. My lifestyle is quite lovely, and I would...
No, Dr. Drew can fuck off, too, honestly.
...not want to ruin that by running for the presidency of the United States of America. I have no interest, but I was just trying to make a profound point, and that is that I think the Democratic Party in the state that they find themselves in, I think somebody like me could actually win. I certainly think that I could beat any of those candidates that you put on the screen. I can tell you that right now. I certainly think if I was running up against somebody like you, I would win that race too. So when you think about the candidates that you possibly go up against,
I'm running. If you run, I'll run.
Listen. You have no chance in hell of beating me because you're too rigid. You don't have any patience for people that disagree with you. You'd lose your mind.
You're going to lecture people on patience?
Okay, I'm the man of the people. Whatever the American people wanted.
I'm the one that wants lower taxes, limited government. I'm the one that wants energy dominance, controlled borders, law and order, better schools.
You want it all.
I'm sorry, you're going to lose that debate. Now, but put that aside for a second.
I wouldn't lose it. I know how to compromise. But go ahead.
Okay,
what you mad at me
you
about?
actually said about DEI, what you're really saying when you talk about DEI, what you're really saying is we want white dominance again. Let me put up on the screen, and this was first
and he's right about that.
Instituted, as it relates to the FAA under Barack Obama. Their diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. Now, Stephen A., you fly a lot. Do you want people with intellectual and psychiatric disabilities in that control tower?
Not at all. Not at all. And by the way, quote me accurately. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. Quote me accurately. My issue with the eradication of DEI was not that on its premise. It was the explanation that the Trump administration and others were giving about it. I don't want to hear DEI automatically being about people who happen to be minorities that are unqualified. That is what I was saying. I said it's one thing to get rid of it altogether. It's another thing entirely to articulate and verbalize the position that, excuse me, everybody that was associated with DEI are unqualified.
Guys, this is entirely 1,000% mischaracterization. All this has to do with is refusing a blanket ban on individuals with mental health issues becoming pilots, right? So they allow individuals with mental health conditions to apply for a special issuance medical certificate under very specific circumstances. Okay? That does not negate the strict regulations and procedures that they already have in place. Like they have to go through regular medical exams, etc. This is for what pilots do, generally speaking. But do you see how Republicans mischaracterize these things to make it seem like it's something else?
Individuals. We don't want unqualified individuals, particularly in public safety.
Imagine if we just ostracized people for having mental health issues. Can you imagine?
I'm saying that's how people were coming across. That's how people. Of course, we agree on it. Of course, we agree on it. But when you have somebody like Hegseth, well, for example, let's use him because he was speaking about your former colleague at Fox News. Hold on. That's not a defense secretary. Excuse me. Listen, I respect. Listen, I'm not bringing up anything personal. I'm simply saying, my God, Sean, when you're talking about people who are unqualified, I wish him nothing but the best. He served our country, in the military. I get all of that. But when you are a weekend host on Fox News, and now you're the defense secretary of the United States overseeing 3.5 million people.
Let me ask you, did you serve in Iraq, Afghanistan, and
This is why MAGA's mad all the time. Exactly. This is exactly why MAGA's mad all the time. That's the kind of shit they consume, and they don't have anyone to break it down for them. MAGA is famous for, Fox News is famous for, mischaracterizing things to get you more pissed off.
Gitmo, did you go to Harvard? Did you go to Harvard? Did you go to Princeton? Yeah,
No.
well, he's certainly pretty...
No. The aviation industry, just generally speaking, has these regulations, has these procedures.
Intelligent guy, so I would say...
I didn't say he wasn't intelligent.
Why don't we give a real soldier an opportunity?
Pilots in general have to report that they have certain mental health conditions when they get their exams. Right? And they have really strict regulations.
All right, I got another...
that's fair.
All right, one thing I'm not qualified for.
But say that.
I just said it. All right, the last thing.
Okay,
I'll say
Yes, sir.
I'm not qualified for this, and we're going to show it at the end of the show. But I'm going to be in a Super Bowl ad, and you're at the Super Bowl.
Oh, God. You in a Super Bowl ad? What the hell is this world coming to? What kind of Super Bowl ad are you going to be in? You with your non-sports knowing self. Talk about staying in your lane. That's you. You in a Super Bowl commercial? Who did this? Did Trump pull strings to make this happen? What the hell is going on, Fox? Well, Brett Baer, that's a different animal. I mean, Brett Baer's a different animal. He's a different animal. Go ahead.
You know what? You're jealous.
Is it just me, or can you see right through this bullshit? This guy, Stephen A. Smith, wants to keep being a guest on Hannity's show. Hannity's show is very popular. By the way, look in the bottom right-hand corner. Dr. Drew Pinsky coming up. Do you guys remember me calling out Dr. Drew for being a fucking traitor recently? He switched sides completely. Rory, thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate you said this is so much better than TikTok. Great job thus far. Rory, this is the very beginning stages of my live streaming outside of just, the circus that is arguing back and forth for 2 hours and then getting off. We're going to have callers. We're going to do debates. We're going to do all sorts of shit. We're going to do a crazy amount of shit on this live stream. I hope to make this extremely enjoyable for the viewer over the next. I hope to have everything 100% organized in a couple months and then full steam ahead. I hope you guys are noticing the improvements I'm making every single day as I'm working very hard to make the stream as enjoyable as I can. But I called that Dr. Drew shit out. And we'll get to that next because that's one of the topics that we need to discuss.
Jealous of what? What do I have to be
I'm in the
jealous
Super
of?
Bowl.
He wants to sneak under the radar and be like, without any criticism after he completely, as a doctor too, threw everyone under the bus.
And you're not. You're jealous.
Wait for it.
But Rory, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Appreciate you, Rory.
Wait for it. I mean, my time will come. My time will come. Don't worry. I'll be around a long enough time. My time will come. I'll be in the Super Bowl commercial. You can book that. That's going to happen. That's going to happen.
Right,
I mean, I'm not
question.
as big time as you, but it is what it is.
Oh, here we go. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I'm not telling you that. I got 2 shows to do. I got 2 shows to do before Friday. I'm not getting.
You like that you can go back? Yeah, you will be able to do that while you're live. But the only thing is, I'm not going to be keeping the replays up forever. Like, once I get the live stream fully together, I won't be keeping replays up because I want people to be here when I'm live rather than just thinking they can just go back and watch the replay later because then they don't come when I'm live. So that part will change. They're up right now. I'm being a little lenient, letting them stay up right now. But in the future, it will be when I'm live, you see me, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Giving you that not giving the information to Fox News.
Who do you think is going to win?
It's a great matchup. You got Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. You got Patrick Mahomes
and ESPN. What does that mean?
Excuse me. I didn't say I didn't.
See if I can pull up the Hannity clip.
Welcome back to this special edition of Hannity with the...
That's one of them.
Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
So check it out here. You're looking live at the White House, where in just moments from now, President Trump and Indian Prime Minister Modi are set to hold a news conference. And while we wait for that,
this is from today.
Let's talk about the Democrats who cried Musk. Former Congressman Dean Phillips trying to warn his party that the collective freakout over the world's richest man and self-proclaimed Doge father could destroy their credibility in the long run. Watch this.
Unfortunately, Democrats are only focused on one thing right now, Mr. Musk. The fact of the matter, he's quite popular. We're missing the boat as Democrats. And all I'm saying is that sometimes it's better to join them and actually play a role in how the strategy works rather than so pathetically, frankly, try to combat something that clearly is a steamroller and Democrats are being steamrolled. I think Democrats should join the club and then have more credibility to actually raise the alarm about constitutional issues. Right now, it's the boy who cried wolf.
But Dean Phillips might as well be shouting into the void of that.
Just a guy who literally said, I mean, he thinks he could have won the election.
Limestone mountain of paperwork. Democrats name-dropping Musk at two different events. First, in a House hearing on USAID.
Hold on, everyone. I got to get my drinks.
An agency that Doge gutted.
Guys, give me 1 second. I got to get my drinks.
And another rally outside the Department of Veterans Affairs. Watch here.
You can't spell felon without Elon.
Trump and Musk like to say, we're reading out fraud, waste, and abuse. We're looking at efficiency. That's a dog whistle.
Elon Musk ripped up the Constitution and our system of checks and balances.
The Trump administration and unelected billionaire Elon Musk have led a reckless and illegal attack on USAID.
9 million veterans are watching you give them the middle finger, and we're not going to stand for it.
President Trump revealing Doge's next target while providing the group some cover.
I think that the Internal Revenue Service will be looked at like everybody else. Just about everybody's going to be looked at. So it's they're doing a hell of a job. It's an amazing job they're doing. I call it the force of super geniuses, but it's building. And, you know, they go up and they talk to some of the people about certain deals, and the people get all tongue-tied. They can't talk.
Judge, it's hard to understand why the Democrats are so mad at Elon Musk. He voted for Obama.
Yeah, he voted for Obama. Oh, my God, dude. They say the same thing that Republicans say. Republican voters. I don't understand why they're so mad at him. He voted for Obama. Why the fuck do you all look the same? Like, seriously, that's my question. Why do you all look the same? You know what I'm saying? You all look identical. It's bonkers. He voted for Obama. Oh my God. They really think that, like, absolves them of their racism. I really just don't understand why you're so mad at me. I'm not racist. I voted for Obama. Stop it. They really think voting for Obama means they're not a bigot.
For geniuses, but it's building. And, you know, they go up and they talk to some of the people about certain deals, and the people get all tongue-tied. They can't talk.
Judge, it's hard to understand why the Democrats are so mad at Elon Musk. He voted for Obama. He created the best electric car, which they purport to love. He can't run for president. He's doing things for free.
Okay, we're literally 0 for 4. He's doing things for free. No, he's not. Can you ask Elon Musk if he's going to be paying capital gains tax? Do you know how much money Elon Musk is going to make just by not paying capital gains tax, which is a benefit of being a government employee. Those of you that don't know, of course, simpleton Republicans don't know, you don't have to pay capital gains tax. That's how Elon gets paid, is by being exempt from capital gains. We're talking a lot of money.
And they just think that he is enemy number one.
Well, I think it just goes to show you that it's all about politics for them. And the sad part about that statement is that it ignores the American
The big tax credit is enough. Exactly, Jess and Holly.
people. I mean, we finally have someone who is willing to take a look.
Yes, she said he invented the electric car. God, why are they so clueless? They don't even know what's going on, dude. It's just painful.
Look at all of the fraud, the waste, and abuse in our government and in the bureaucracy, and as opposed to applauding that and saying, "Great, this is going to benefit the American people who pay through taxes through the nose."
I swear to God, since that halftime show, I have that Kendrick Lamar song, 2 of them actually, just stuck in my head. Like, I cannot get that fucking song out of my head since the halftime show. I don't know.
Instead, they say they're only focused on how horrible Elon Musk is or how horrible Donald Trump is. And I think it's very frustrating because to me, it's disappointing, Harold, that the Democrats are not appreciative of this kind of thing. Because in the end, you still have Fetterman, Hakeem Jeffries, James Carville.
Mustard on the beat, ho!
Carville, Dean Phillips. I mean, these guys, even Hakeem Jeffries is saying we've got to find common ground with them.
I swear to God, I'll never do that again. I am just way too fucking white.
Something. But, you know, they ignored the history of the Clinton presidency when they fired 400,000 people, bureaucrats, and they called it the
They not like us. They're not like us.
National Partnership Reinventing Government to make the federal government less expensive. And it was Obama who pledged to do the same in 2011. So all this
mustard on the beat, ho!
To hate.
Let's go.
It's like, you know, when you get divorced, you hate the other person so much you don't care if it hurts the kids.
And then we're actually going to talk about Department of Education a little bit too, because that's supposedly about kids. I found out today that Bernie Sanders was the chairman of the Education Committee for 4 years. Under Biden, had 1 hearing on education the entire time, and then they go and complain. Hey, Harold, what do you think about these?
Shit, at least you know. Let me tell you something right now. I am somewhat of a rap historian. You guys don't even know how much I know about rap. And I'm talking about Notorious B.I.G. I'm talking about the original Bad Boy. I know it's bad to bring up Bad Boy now, everything with Puffy. Okay? But I'm talking about OG Bad Boy records. You know, I'm talking about early Biggie. Early Biggie. I'm talking about Mobb Deep. Do any of you even know who Mobb Deep is? Do any of you even know who Junior Mafia is? Sit your asses down.
Protests that are a throwback. Are they having any effect?
You just said Puffy. Talk about OG. Yeah. You're still white, Adam. You have your white moments, boo. That's true. But I'm still a historian. I know a lot about 90s rap.
I don't, first of all, good to be with you again. I don't think so. I think that Dean Phillips is largely right. I think.
And don't ever mention Insane Clown Posse in the same sentence as Notorious B.I.G., the greatest rapper of all time ever again.
The judge is as well. I tried to say yesterday, and perhaps I didn't say it as clearly as I wanted to. There's a time for outrage, and then there's a time to assess impact. The outrage for Democrats should have ended when the election ended. There were so many awful things said about President Trump. He said some awful things about Democrats, but I think Democrats said more awful things about him. And the instinct to want to try to work with him, I think, is the right instinct. So the outrage is there. You now got
I gotta stop this mic thing. I know a lot about 90s music, period, anyway.
Look at the impact. The country, no one has ever won office saying, elect me, I will grow government, I will grow the debt, and I will make it unrecognizable.
Is Trump going to get rid of SSI? Dude, I don't know, man. Everything's on the table is my answer right now. I really don't know. He's really going after just about everything at this point.
Large. Anyone that tries to do that has lost.
I go back and forth with that. I think it's definitely on the chopping block, though. Did you guys see the thing Ramaswamy said about odd and even numbers? I'll get to that after this clip.
Democrat presidents, you mentioned it, and I like your Valentine's Day red, Judge. You mentioned how these Democrats that Obama wanted to cut, Clinton wanted to cut, they're reinventing government, and no one ever did.
Guys, I have a live goal there. If you'd like to contribute with Super Chats, I'd appreciate supporting the live. You can also do so over here. You'll see my Cash App up top, my Venmo below it. I get 100% of what you send on these two as well. And I read it just like I would a Super Chat.
I would urge Democrats to do, as opposed to standing outside and singing and being so critical. If you're going to be critical, you have to answer.
Buying college tuition, they were given $1 billion. And it's not just these little tent cities. They were buying them cars. They were helping them own homes. They were paying off their credit cards. How'd they get a credit card? I don't know. They were buying college tuition.
Do you think he's creating chaos to have a reason to call martial law? No, I think he really wants to do these things. I think that's really his motive.
They were giving them startup money to start businesses, Harold. And they were
Yeah. No, Harold's being good today.
So far. These are the kind of things we're spending money on. We are staging hamster fight clubs, Dana. We're putting dead turtles on treadmills. Now, I know what happens when you put anything dead on a treadmill. It just flops right off. I've watched videos on YouTube of this before.
Yeah, you're a fucking genius. Someone said, Rory, let me explain something to you too, Rory. I just want to add on to what you said because you asked a question, and I don't mind asking the question because it's not a bad question. Donald Trump has discretion, meaning he can do whatever he wants to suspend the Constitution and deploy the military against the American people. He can do that through the Insurrection Act. There's no standard he has to meet, like via Congress or anything. He can declare it anytime he feels like it. So he really doesn't need to create chaos. It's by whatever he determines is civil unrest or insurrection. Just so you know, he has full discretion as an executive privilege to do just that. So he wouldn't really need to do all this stuff to do that. He could just do it.
They've injected puppies with cocaine.
E.E. Green says, I'll listen to you rap anytime, Adam. That's going... I can't really rap, E.E. Green, but I appreciate you, E.E. Green. Thank you so much. Anna Rose says, ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. There we go. Mob Deep. Anna Rose, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you.
What? Now, the cocaine...
I usually play... I would play Mob Deep in the morning before I debate Republicans. Shook Ones. Because they're so fucking scared.
Was pure. The puppies wanted to be injected, but it doesn't make it right, Dana. They were sticking marbles into cats' anuses and then electro-shocking them.
This is why you weren't invited to Thanksgiving, Jesse. You ask why you weren't invited to Thanksgiving. This is why. Because this... Hi, Jesse, can you please pass the mashed potatoes?
Sticking marbles into cats' anuses and then electro-shocking them.
Jesse, I asked you for the gravy. This is why you can't come to Thanksgiving, son. The fuck? Jess and Holly, thank you for the $2.79 super chat. Appreciate you, Jess and Holly. This guy was literally, his mom told him you can't come to Thanksgiving, and this is fucking why. Because he says dumb shit like this over roast beef. Like, you're about to take a nice bite of green bean casserole, and Jesse does this.
Pops right off. I've watched videos on YouTube of this before.
Of what? Can you just pass me the gravy, please?
Injected puppies with cocaine.
What?
Now,
Jesse, I just want the gravy for my mashed potatoes, if that's possible, please.
The cocaine was pure.
Jesse, I don't want to get into it. I'd rather you just give me the gravy.
The puppies wanted to be injected, but it doesn't make it.
Jesse, the gravy. No offense or anything. Not interested in the YouTube videos you saw.
Right, Dana. They were sticking marbles into cats' anuses and then electroshocking them.
All right, dinner's over. Dinner's fucking ruined.
These are the kind of
when did that happen? Who's doing this?
Wicked experiments that the government is using your taxpayer on.
Oh,
there's more.
What was the point of the marbles?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't ask me. I don't have this.
Guys, do you realize how much of an asshole you have to be for your mom to be like, you can't come to Thanksgiving? Do you realize the level of asshole? Do you guys realize the level of asshole you have to be to get disinvited from Thanksgiving? I mean, that's a level that's hard to fucking even imagine, dude. The level of asshole you have to be for your mom to call you and be like, you can't come to Thanksgiving. Last time you were talking about marbles and anuses, and we're just not going to have it while we're eating roast beef, Jesse.
Type of fetish. They spent $3 million.
What did he just say?
On.
Oh.
There's more.
What was the point of the marbles?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't ask me. I don't have this type of fetish.
Jesse, this is why you're not coming to Christmas dinner next year. I think he said something like his mom told him, like, if you, like, maybe behave during the year, you can come back for Christmas. You know what this asshole did? He literally went on national television and told everyone that he wasn't invited. He literally went on national television and gave a pity party. You guys want to watch that clip after? I'll watch it after this. He literally went on national television and was like, I wasn't invited to Christmas dinner because I'm problematic. Dude, if you're not invited to Christmas dinner, it's time to rethink what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, if my mom calls me, she's not alive, God rest her soul. Rest in peace, Mom. But if she was and she said, Adam, you can't come to Christmas dinner, I would rethink the things I'm saying. I mean, she birthed you. For her to say you can't come to Christmas dinner knowing there's only a certain number of those in life you get to spend with your family, it means that you're saying something that's incredibly troubling.
They spent $3 million for the Department of Education to write a report to say that no one reads reports.
Right, exactly.
How
That's
about
a good
this?
one.
$50 million to the Climate Justice Alliance, who believes that climate justice travels through a free Palestine.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means? I don't know what that means, Dana. They spent 25 grand for shrinks for trans refugees in Greece. Now, if you're in the
Is this like the $50 million you guys claimed were sent to Gaza? Remember when you guys lied and said there was $50 million sent to Gaza, but it turns out they were actually sent to the Gaza province in Mozambique, not Palestine? And then Elon Musk said, whoops, nobody bats 1,000. I mean, you guys just fucking make shit up, and then you hope it sticks. You're liars. You're literal liars, and that's why you get sued on a regular basis, and I'm here to debunk you, Muppet.
trenches, like we are in cable news, we've been doing this a long time.
Yep.
This is like free money, okay? I can come out and I can read this every day of the week. Doesn't matter what the Democrats say. They have to defend this. And I haven't seen one single Democrat on any of these shows defending any of these kooky projects. And
yeah, I'm not kidding. They literally said there was $50 million in condoms sent to Gaza, right? They were like, $50 million sent to Gaza. That's the American taxpayers' money. Turns out first of all, it wasn't 50 million. But it was condoms actually sent to the Gaza province in Mozambique to stop the spread of HIV, not Palestine. Fucking idiots don't know the difference.
every day we read this stuff and expose it, and they're not saying anything or defending it, they're losing. And they've lost every single day since Doge started up.
That's a good point, because the Democrats are demanding more transparency. I'm not against it.
I mean, no offense or anything, but why do you all look identical? I swear to God, if you were all in a room together, I'd be confused as fuck. They all look identical. Do they, like, develop these, like, conservative... Give me one blonde airhead, please.
But the more there's transparency, the more kinds of things like that you find.
Well, all I know is when I get home, I'm cleaning my marbles.
Yes, Amazon, we need 2 blonde airheads to go on television tomorrow. Is there any chance you can make that happen by Friday?
So Dean Phillips stepped out of the prison of 2 ideas, where Harold lives. You know, it's the next step in the gradual enlightenment that the Democrats must pursue, but most of them aren't. Right now, for these Democrats, their only hope is that things go bad for Trump. And you can see that already in the...
All right, what's the qualifications to be a blonde airhead on Fox News? You got to blow in one ear, and then Jesse Waters stands on the other side. This guy stands on one side, Jesse Waters stands on the other side, and you blow in one ear and see if any air comes out the other side.
The press is they're looking at the price of eggs. But for bad things to go for Trump, then things have to go bad for America, because his entire plank is America first. So it's a terrible hope to...
Yeah, America first, my ass. My sound should not be cutting in and out. It might have been because I was leaning the other way. Sorry about that. I was, for some reason, leaning the other way. Should be good now. Leechy Kyle, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Said, remember when they had to change from WWF to WWE because it's fake? The lawsuit should have made Fox News change to Fox Entertainment. Missed that bus. I agree, Leechy. Should be good now. Guys, if it's glitchy for you, go out and come back in. Hello. Let me see if I can adjust it here. Let me see. Maybe go out and come back in, everybody. I don't know. I'm trying to fix it. Let's see if we can fix it. Definitely don't want choppy sound. Hello. Let me see if I can adjust it here. I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it. Sorry about that, everyone. I think I did something screwed up. Don't know what I did. Sorry about that. I apologize. Remember, everyone, I'm still working out the technical aspect of this show. Trying to build kind of a studio here. I don't have $1 million. I rely entirely on your guys' support to buy the equipment that I have. So I don't have the best equipment in the world, but I make it work. I would appreciate if you guys would contribute to my goal, though. I am 7 of 15. If you would like to contribute to a super chat, I'd appreciate a super chat. $5 and above counts.
To have, you know, it doesn't really clear a path for a new vision when you just hope that things will go wrong. And they're still clinging to this fantasy that if Trump fails, then they can return to what exactly? There's nothing there. Woke is dead. Identity politics is dead. DEI is dead.
Oh, you muppet. DEI is not dead. It may be for the time being. I promise you it's coming back. You're not going to win the war.
MSNBC, all of legacy.
DEI is necessary and effective.
Media is dead, double dead. Trump may well hit a snag at some point, but that's not going to solve the Democrats' bigger and greater problem. What do you stand for? It can't be everything that's not Trump because he's the common sense president. You can't be the not common sense president. You can't be the not America first president or not.
The setup looks like $1 million, so better than TikTok. Thank you, Amy. Well, it definitely is a nice setup. I'm not going to lie. Here's the things I spent the most money on, if you guys want to know. My camera, I spent a shitload of money on. I spent $600 on my camera, and I spent a decent amount of money on my microphone too, believe it or not, like $200 or something like that. I spent a lot of money on a 4K cam link so you guys could have a clear picture. Like, the reason my camera's so clear is because of my cam link. I'm basically putting everything I make from this stream and these streams right now on YouTube back into my equipment because I'm hoping it pays off. I'm taking a gamble and basically putting everything I make back into the stream to make the highest quality stream I can for you guys.
Not America First Party.
Two Full Hun, 1969. Thank you for the $19.99 super chat. Here's to the goal to support your channel. You do a great job. T-Full Hun, thank you so much. That means the world, a donation like that. Thank you, Two-Full Hun. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you, Two-Full Hun. Appreciate you dearly. Crystal Eggers, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says for turtles and treadmills and puppies on cocaine and marbles in anuses. You forgot that part.
Party. You know, we're wacky and weird. America lasts. We want big government and bigger trans. It's not going to fly. So I think Harold hit on it, probably by accident, that this is, they got to be for something. They got to think about it. And their argument about accountability is hysterical because they say Musk has no accountability. Well, duh. That's why he's doing this. He's not an elected official. He doesn't owe anybody anything. And he's holding you accountable. And the people who voted for Trump voted for Doge, and they're going to hold them accountable. They expect them to hold you accountable. The bottom line is you can't undo the undoing.
Yeah, we have a time limit on the goal, too. So we need 6 more donations, $5 and above, and we can complete the goal. I hear Adam's viewers are the coolest, most attractive people. 210 Rain, that's true. That's true, 210 Rain. Thank you, 210 Rain. Appreciate you, buddy. Seriously. Thank you so much for contributing. I appreciate you. Amanda gifted 5 memberships. Holy shit. Amanda gifted 5 memberships. Jamie, you're now a member. Mariah, you're now a member. Clara, you're now a member. Cajun, you're a member. And Janet, you're a member. All because of Amanda, who just gifted 5 memberships to my channel. Amanda was just kind enough to give you 5 memberships. So everybody there, you just got a membership. That's on behalf of Amanda. Thank Amanda in the chat.
The undoing has started. You can't put the dish back together after it fell off the hutch. As my mom used to say, which you would throw dishes at.
Did your mom disinvite you to Thanksgiving like Jesse Waters' mom?
At me. I'm done. But that was good. I
It
think.
was brilliant.
It was great.
All of
Thank
it. Really,
But
Harold.
I meant what I said, though. I didn't accidentally get on the dog.
All right, up next, it's Tariff Thursday. President Trump unleashing the trade tool he says will level the playing field with.
I'll tell you, every day we go through this, and on the news we watch the Fox News wrap-up and everything, and I know it's funny and we laugh about it, but the sad part is people watch this and take it seriously. We make fun of it, right? Because we're more, we're laughing at them, right? But the sad part is there's so many people that take this shit seriously.
With the world.
You know how many people take this shit seriously? By the way, so let me say this really quick, too. Guys, one of the most dangerous things in American history happened today, and I don't want to skip over it. I want to give it the attention it deserves. RFK Jr. is one of the most dangerous individuals ever confirmed to high-level government position in this country. He is now in control of the FDA, the CDC, the CMS. This gives him substantial influence over public health policies. We have now gone from science to conspiracy. We've gone forward to backwards. We have now gone in reverse. I want everyone to know this. We have done an incredible disservice to our children in this country. We should be absolutely ashamed as the adults that we have done this to our children. I was driving and looking in the rear view mirror at my little child, who's only a few years old. People on Substack, you know him. I'm a little more personal on Substack. Right? And I'm looking at him going, as adults, not me, but as adults, we have done such an incredible disservice to the children in this country. We should be ashamed. Something my mom used to say all the time, right? Before she passed away, she used to say all the time, our children are watching. And this is what we've left our children. This debacle. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Nicole G, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, well done, Adam. You're amazing, sir. Thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate you, Nicole. Crystal Eggers, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, for marbles and anuses. Yes, that is what's on Fox News. That's the headline. For marbles and anuses. Guys, we're coming to the end of the goal here. If you'd like to contribute to try and beat the goal of a super chat, now is the time.
All right, a lot of news happening, as it is every day. And moments ago, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was sworn in as the new Health and Human Services Secretary, as President Trump creating the Make America Healthy Again Commission to investigate the root causes.
This is one of the worst things that's ever happened to this country right here.
Of America's health crisis, starting with chronic childhood diseases, including autism. New health. Here is some of the reaction from senators after RFK Jr.'s confirmation.
We've got to get into the business of making America healthy again.
By now, it's beyond clear that Mr. Kennedy is not remotely qualified to become the next secretary.
Oh God, Chuck Schumer, loud voice, little impact. Fuck out of here. Thank you so much, Birdie, for the Fox needs to remove news from their name. Birdie, you're 100% correct. Thank you for the $2.79, Birdie. Jamie says, I love this live and community. It helps keep me sane. Jamie, that's the entire point. We're going to get through this next 4 years together as a community on YouTube and Substack. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat, Jamie. I really appreciate you, Jamie. Thank you so much.
Of HHS.
I think that...
See if we can get a couple more super chats. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Someone come through with a bomb.
His emphasis on youth obesity and food health, processed foods and ultra-processed foods, it needs a look. And it's a passion of his.
What do you make of the fact
I don't have a problem with getting toxins out of foods, but how can you expect a corporatist who literally protects the interests of corporations in a capitalist society to tell a corporation that they must remove ingredients from their food, which, by the way, makes it more expensive to produce to help the American people? I don't buy it for a single solitary second. This is about conspiracy, misinformation, and control. Laura, thank you for the $5 super chat, Laura. I appreciate you, Laura. Julian, thank you for the $2 super chat, Julian. Appreciate you, Julian. Emily's Blunt, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Boom, you guys met the goal. Thank you so much for everyone who's been contributing to the gifting goal. I appreciate you so much. Laura, thank you for the $5 super chat, Laura. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate everybody contributing. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Jamie, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Jamie.
that your Republicans have largely unified around many of Trump's noms, especially RFK?
No backbone. They need to grow a spine. Mitch McConnell ought to be an exhilarating...
You guys know who voted against RFK today? Mitch McConnell. W. Mitch in the chat. Amanda, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, thank you for everything you do. It's my honor, Amanda. I hope that I can make this next 4 years a little bit easier for everyone that watches me. That's my goal. But anyway, guys, Mitch McConnell voted against RFK today. And he's not the first cabinet pick of Trump's that he voted against. He also voted against Tulsi, and he voted against Hegseth. W. Mitch in the chat. Damn. Mitch is actually voting against these psychopathic people that Donald Trump is nominating for high-level government positions. Mitch is a sicko. But W. Mitch in the chat. I mean, look, Mitch has got maybe 2 years left before he's on the mantle. Mitch is on the highway in the fast lane to the mantle, right? He's old. At least go out with telling Republicans and these psychopathic fascist people, fuck you. You know what I mean?
role model for them.
So given all that, the pluses and minuses from the senators, he passed with every vote on the Republican side except for Mitt Brown.
I want everyone in the chat to say rare Mitch W. Everyone in the chat say rare Mitch W. We need a rare Mitch W spam in the chat. Rare Mitch W from everyone in here. I hope everyone's exited out the chat and hit a thumbs up. You got to hit the thumbs up, try and push the live. I would appreciate it. Crystal, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says people with dwarfism have reported harassment in airports after Trump listed them as disability responsible for the plane crashes. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. Alicia, thank you for the $10 super chat. Always support you, Adam. Alicia, love you. Thank you so much for the support, Alicia. Seriously, thank you so much for your support. It means the world.
For Mitch McConnell. Let's bring in
We have a lot of exciting shit to go over tonight. Some crazy shit. Let's hit the thumbs up button. Let's comment. Let's super chat. Let's blow the live up.
Nicole Shanahan, RFK Jr.'s former running mate during his presidential campaign. Nicole, it's great to have you with us. You posted a video about the long road that you have been on throughout the course of this as his running mate. And, you know, it's not lost on anyone that a Kennedy of the famous Kennedy Democrat family, you're a former Democrat yourself, is now joining the Republican Trump administration. Your thoughts on the significance of today?
I mean, out of breath. It's been a big journey. It's been a big journey for so many of us to get to this moment where we can actually look under the hood of chronic disease in the United States. Mothers, thank you, all of you. This is we're cheering today. We are cheering. We are getting together. We are talking.
I hate this woman. Can we just be transparent for a second? This is the woman I believe that RFK chose as her running mate. She's a complete psychopath. She's the person that literally... So she basically got selected to RFK's campaign because she's rich. And RFK was running out of money, and he selected her as his running mate. She's a psycho, dude.
Hope for the first time in a really long time, and there's definitely a big battle in front of us. There's been so much money put into the campaign against RFK, even this past week. Tens of thousands of dollars presented to media influencers to just get final.
Yeah, anti-science. Yee. Anti-science. Let's root for anti-science. God, I feel so sorry for my child. Like, I feel so sorry for my little boy. Has to grow up in this country that doesn't even believe in modern day medicine. How sick we are sick, dude.
Against RFK, even this past week. Tens of thousands of dollars presented to media influencers to just get final hits out against him. And you know what? Just in spite of all of that money that's been spent to stop our movement, we are unstoppable. And I'm so happy we're here in this moment today.
Nicole, it's an enormous agency, and we're going to scroll everything that will be under.
By the way, what mods do I have here right now?
His purview. He has an enormous job ahead of him. $2.4 trillion in spending. It's 25% of the United States budget. We have seen what has happened with the cabinet members who have been approved. Pam Bondi, Scott Bessent. I mean, these people are hitting the ground running.
Carly said, my husband and I were just talking about that, Adam. I'm so sad for my boys. I hear you. I'm sad for mine, too.
In such an enormous way. So, and I know that you've mentioned that you plan to be in an advisory capacity to Bobby Kennedy as Secretary of HHS.
Amy Dixie Des, all right.
So
Clara.
Tell us what that will look like. How will he hit the ground running? What are the first orders of business for him?
He's really going to look at it holistically. And I think that's really important to get across a lot of lies have been spread about how he is going to undertake this position. Do not believe those lies. This is a very carefully assembled group of people around him with tasks.
You could become a mod soon because we are going to be adding a couple.
Force.
But I'll let you know when.
That have some of the best doctors, scientists.
I'll keep you in mind, Jessica. You're always here. I know you're good.
that will be advising every aspect and every important decision coming down the pike. Those going into NIH, the CDC, the FDA, these individuals are the top of their field, and they're not bought out by Big Pharma. And that's the number one goal right now, is to make sure that anyone who touches this budget.
Yeah, when I bring people into the mod, those are people I've known for a long time that I trust. And I definitely will keep you in mind, Jessica. There's some people I have in mind that I'm probably going to be bringing in soon. Because, look, the truth is this is going to continue to grow. We're going to need mods. You know, that's all there is to it. I also have a plan I'm not going to announce yet that's going to have to do with this YouTube community and creating some other alternate community. So there's going to be some people I'm going to be bringing on to moderate, not just on YouTube, but a separate server, and I'll be discussing that in the future.
Anyone who touches taxpayer dollars that go into news media and that go into different programs, different scientific areas of research, that it's not being informed by for-profit corporatist interests. It's being informed by people who genuinely deeply care about the holistic experience of children, that really care to make sure that they get the best possible interventions early on.
Well, Nicole, I know that
they're not being held hostage.
You have led a very forceful group of passionate moms, and you're one of them. Let's listen in.
But you're not anyone besides someone who has a ton of money, and RFK was running out of money, and he needed someone in his campaign that could help fund his campaign, and he selected you. This woman is off the rocker. Straight up. Unhinged. Insane.
And to this ceremony is happening right now.
Take this obligation freely.
I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully.
This is one of the worst moments in American history. And the sad part for me is that no one cares. No one cares how detrimental this is for our country. This guy taking the oath right now. This is detrimental for our country, people. This guy's an anti-vaxxer. God, I hate to bring up my mom again. I bring up my mom a lot because my mom has a lot to do with my political opinion and everything, right? My mother would be disgusted. My mother basically built an autism program that revolved around individualized learning. She would be disgusted that a guy who thinks that vaccines cause autism is in charge of health and human services. That is absolutely despicable. We should be ashamed to be American today. I will go to sleep tonight being ashamed to be American. I am ashamed to be an American citizen tonight.
Discharge.
And that I will well.
Being held hostage.
You have led a very forceful group of passionate moms, and you're one of them. Let's listen in to this ceremony is happening right now.
Take this obligation freely.
I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office.
The duties of the office.
On which I am about to enter.
On which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Secretary.
Hey, Robert, didn't you cheat on that wife you just kissed?
Quite something to watch that. Bobby Kennedy Jr. in the Oval Office, where his uncle served as president, where his father served as the attorney general under President Kennedy. And he was there with Cheryl Hines, his wife, and some of his children in the Oval Office. So there's another one to check off. It has been extraordinary, actually. I think there are 19 cabinet members who've been approved now, which is double the pace of what we saw the last time around. So John Thune, as majority leader, has been moving this ball very quickly through the course of the Senate and these confirmations. It's been quite something to watch.
I've never been so disappointed to be an American in my fucking life.
The left's delusions of victimhood on full display in Massachusetts, a city council meeting in the state's second largest city going off the rails after nearly 200 far-left agitators started screaming and demanding their...
You can see walking into the room right now, that is Prime Minister Modi, President Trump.
Let's take a listen to this. This was Trump and Prime Minister Modi earlier today. This is obviously a big deal as well.
Just dive into this here on Live Now from Fox and listen in to what they have to say at this press conference in Washington, D.C.
Please. Great honor. I'm thrilled to welcome the Prime Minister of India, my friend, Narendra Modi, back to the White House. We spent a lot of time here and a lot of time in India, and he's a very special man. Prime Minister, it is a pleasure to extend to you the same hospitality that you showed Melania and myself when we traveled to your beautiful country 5 years ago. It's hard to believe, so long ago.
What's up, Don? How you doing?
And it seemed like yes.
Robert Kennedy Sr. must be flipping over in his grave. Yeah. Bobby Kennedy is a hero of mine, a political hero of mine, and I don't know. It's hard. I have a hard time even expressing that anymore. His son is such a disgrace.
Yesterday it was beautiful. We opened the cricket stadium, 129,000 seats, I think the largest stadium in the world. And it was an incredible...
It's crazy to watch a lot of these world leaders just bend the knee, too. Like, I wish they took a much more hardline stance against him, but they don't.
Incredible period of time. There is truly a special bond between the United States and India, the world's oldest democracy.
The deep mutual trust that we share, and also the resolve to attain new goals. We also agreed that the partnership and cooperation between India and the US can shape a better world. Friends, the people of America are aware of President Trump's motto, "Make America Great Again," or MAGA. The people of America are well aware of it. The people of India, too, are focused.
People in chat talking about Elon's kid repeating stuff that he heard. Absolutely. Elon's playing Trump like a fiddle. Trump's a useful idiot, and he's falling for it.
On both heritage and development as they move forward at a fast pace and with a firm resolve to ensure a developed India by 2047. If I were to say this, borrowing an expression from America, our vision for a developed India is to make India great again.
All these leaders are terrified. They're terrified of Trump. No one can convince me Elon didn't say that, didn't tell his kid to say that. No, what it is Elon says that in private away from Trump. That you're not actually the president, I am. Probably tells Trump to shut his mouth. Probably says, hey, I'm just fooling you. You know what I mean? Like, the kid is repeating what he's heard in private. That's what's going on.
Or MAGA.
This may seem benign, me listening to other leaders and what they have to say. This is very important, people.
When America and India work together, that is, when MAGA, when it's MAGA plus MEGA, it becomes mega.
Oh my God. That is gross. Say that again for everyone. Listen, everyone. Listen. This is when... what happens when people stand by? Fascism becomes more powerful. The most dangerous people during fascist uprise are the people that do nothing.
When MAGA, when it's MAGA plus MEGA.
What does that even fucking mean? What?
When America and India work together, that is, when it's MAGA plus MEGA, it becomes
Birdie, thank you for the $1.39 super chat, Birdie. Appreciate you, Birdie.
mega, a mega partnership for prosperity.
My God. Holy shit. This can't be real life, dude. Please, someone wake me up.
And it is this mega spirit that gives new scale and scope to our objectives. Friends, today we have also set ourselves the target of more than doubling our bilateral trade to attain $500 billion by 2030. Our teams will work.
I think it's worse than just Donald Trump doing what he's doing is the fact that these world leaders are literally kissing the ring. You know what we should do, people? We need to buy an island. It's not that expensive. We need to buy a piece of land. This may be something we do in here. I'm not even kidding. We buy a piece of land and create some kind of Muppet community. No Muppets allowed community or something, and we just fucking go there. If shit hits the fan, we might need to do that.
Work on concluding very soon a mutually beneficial trade agreement in order to ensure India's energy security. We will focus on trade in oil and gas. Investment in energy infrastructure will also increase. In the area of nuclear energy, we also discussed increasing cooperation on small modular reactors. Friends,
like, are they just scared? Why are these leaders bending the knee like this? Are they just scared, or what is it?
America plays an important role in India's defense preparedness. As strategic and trusted partners, we are moving forward actively towards joint development, joint production, and transfer of technology. In the times to come as well, new technologies and equipment will enhance our capacities.
We have decided to launch the Autonomous Systems Industry Alliance, and a defense cooperation framework for the next decade will be prepared. Defense interoperability, logistics, repair, and maintenance will also be its key components. Friends, the 21st century is a technology-driven century. Close cooperation in the area of technology between countries that believe in democratic values can give new direction, strength, and opportunities to the entire humanity, the Indo-Pacific.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I'm moving on to questions now. I can't listen to this bootlicking any further. Let's listen to some questions from the press.
Thank you very much. Great job. Okay, thank you very much. That was excellent. We'll do a few questions, please. Please, go ahead. Please, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, blue shirt.
Thank you, Mr. President. People in India will naturally welcome your decision to extradite Thakur Rana to India back home. In that context, I would like to ask you a question about, in last few years, we have seen several groups in the U.S. raising anti-India voice, calling about separation, terrorism activities in India. Do you think that should continue here in the U.S. as well?
You're going to have to go louder.
Mr. President, people in India would be welcoming your decision to extradite Thakur Rana to...
I can't understand a word he's saying.
I can understand him fine. What are you talking about? I can understand him fine. This is just racism. That's all this is.
Calling about separation, terrorism activities in India. Do you
Separation of terrorism activities in India.
think that should continue here in the U.S. as well?
Do you think that's going to continue in the U.S. here as well?
You're going to have to go louder.
I mean, this is racism. He's pretending not to be able to hear him. I understand everything this gentleman is saying. Everything this gentleman is saying is clear as day, unless you're an idiot.
Mr. President,
So he tries again. Here we go.
people in India would be welcoming your decision to extradite Thakur Rana to...
I can't understand a word he's saying.
Why? It's clear as day.
May I, sir?
Dude, what the fuck, man? I hate this guy. It's clear as day. I can hear him clear as day. I can answer his question easily.
May I?
I feel so bad for this guy. Because I can't hear him. Yeah, sure, buddy.
May I, sir?
Yeah, you're just trying to, belittle people who don't have an American accent, and it's disgusting. You tell me you can't hear this, guys. Tell me you can't hear this.
In the U.S. raising anti-India voice, calling about separation, terrorism activities in India.
Separation of terrorism activities in India.
Do you think that should continue here in the U.S.
Do you think that's going to continue here in the U.S.
as well?
As well.
You're going to have to go louder.
Mr. President, people in India would be welcoming your decision to extradite Thakur Rana to...
I can't understand
Oh my God.
a word he's saying.
When you stop talking, you might be able to. This is bigotry. That's all this is.
May I, sir?
He did this the other day with somebody that was Chinese, and they were asking a question, and they had a slight accent, but it was nothing, you couldn't understand. And he's like, I can't understand you.
May I?
He's trying to undermine anyone who doesn't have an American accent.
May I, sir?
Go ahead, back there.
Mr. President, thank you. First, I want to ask
Thank you very much.
a question. You and the president, you both spoke about combating ISIS. You both sounded very excited about this partnership upcoming. And I was curious, how much more confident are you with President Trump leading this country that there will be peace through strength and you will have a successful partnership with the United States versus with Biden's incompetence and weakness over the last 4 years?
That question's not for Trump. It's for Modi.
That's your question, but I'll answer it. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a question for Modi. Can he answer that question?
Yeah, gross incompetence. We're going to have a fantastic relationship, and it has been. Look, the whole world's been set back over the last 4 years by the weakness of the United States, the weak leadership of the United States. But I think we've taken care of it in just 3 weeks. It seems to me that
That question wasn't for you. That question was for Modi. Someone said weird leading question. Weird is fucking right. Leading question is absolutely right.
even some of the media that we wouldn't prefer has been writing that this is a much different country right now, that the world has a light over it, not only our country, but the whole world. The Prime Minister told me that before, too, even over India. The world has a light. They need the United States to be strong and powerful, but good. And I think that's happened, and I think it's happened in a very short period of time. But I will tell you, we're going to have a fantastic relationship, and it'll make both countries much stronger. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, Geeta Mohan from India Today, sir. I'll just take my colleague.
No, I think some members of the press are kissing ass because they want to be able to they want to develop a relationship with Trump so they can have access. You know what I mean? It's gross, but that's what happens when fascists win elections.
Khalid Shah's question forward because you couldn't understand.
Okay, fine.
The question is about the fact that you've decided to extradite Tahabur Rana. Thank you so much. India has been waiting to have him back in India to bring him to justice. But there are many other elements in the United States of America, particularly Khalistani separatists who've been working against Indian interests. How is the United States of America going to cooperate on that front with India? There have been allegations that have been leveled against Indian agencies by the Biden administration.
Someone said, yeah, Modi's a fascist. Let me say this really quick. So I'm not going to say Modi's a fascist, but what I will say is this. Modi is a nationalist. Okay? Is it authoritarian? 100%. I don't know, fascist. Probably. You're probably correct. But let's be clear, everyone. The reason that you see this type of relationship is because Modi, right, promotes nationalist ideology, right? Emphasizing essentially Hindu unity and promoting India as land of the Hindus, right? He's an extreme nationalist.
We're going to relook that with Tulsi Gabbard as DNI now.
Well, I don't
Another dangerous nomination, Tulsi Gabbard.
think India had a very good relationship with the Biden administration. Biden, they wouldn't sell them oil and gas, which is rather hard to believe because, it's a good thing to do. And a lot of things happened that weren't very appropriate, I thought, between India and the administration, the Biden administration. But as you said, we're giving a very violent man, it seems to me. I mean, I don't know that he's been convicted yet or will be, but let's assume he's a pretty violent person. We're giving him back to India immediately. And
well, you have to remember, Dawn, right, that Modi and Trump have similar ideology. Not the same, but similar.
there are more to follow because we have quite a few requests. So we work with India on crime, and we want to make it good for India, and it's very important. So that kind of a relationship is very important to us. Okay? Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. President, you've repeatedly called India a big abuser of trade and said it is really difficult to do business in India because of tariffs.
That's a good question.
You announced
Can we get a controversial question, please? Thank you.
Reciprocal tariffs today. I am hoping you can speak about what kind of reciprocal tariffs India can expect. Are you willing to make any concessions? And how can India head off these tariffs? I also have one for the Prime Minister.
Well, India's been, to us, just about the highest tariffed nation anywhere in the world. They've been very strong on tariffs, and I don't blame them necessarily, but it's a different way of doing business. It's very hard to sell into India because they have trade barriers, very strong tariffs. We are, right now, a reciprocal nation. We are going to, if it's India or if it's somebody else with low tariffs, we're going to have the same. We're going to have whatever India charges, we're charging them. Whatever another country charges, we're charging them. So it's called reciprocal, which I think is a very fair way. We didn't
He doesn't know. He can't spell reciprocal.
have that. I was going to do that in my other term, and we had the greatest economy ever in the world. There's never been an economy like we had, and then we got hit with COVID. We had to focus on that, and I wasn't really in the mood to be putting it on Italy and Spain and France and India, frankly, and a lot of other countries, because the world was very troubled until we got rid of that nightmare. But we had the strongest economy anywhere in the world during that fairly long period of time during my first term, as you know, and we didn't do the tariffs. We would have done the reciprocal tariffs, but we decided, and I decided, I think on a human basis, on a humane basis, not to do them because of the fact that there was such suffering all over the
All right, let's move on. Trump did a press conference today on reciprocal tariffs. Let's talk about that a little bit. because there's a whole thing on this.
Right.
This was from.
Okay.
This was from a few hours ago.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, you are meeting Prime Minister Modi of India this afternoon. What kind of trade and tariff relations would you like to have with India, and what's the vision for India-US?
So he's going to give some insight on these reciprocal tariffs.
India traditionally is the highest, just about the highest tariffed country. They charge more tariffs than any other country.
I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
And I mean, we'll be talking about that. But again, whatever they charge us, we're charging them. So it works out very well. It's a beautiful, simple system. And we don't have to worry about, gee, we're charging too much or too little. But traditionally, India is right at the top of the pack, pretty much. There are a couple of smaller countries that are actually more. But India is a they charge tremendous tariffs. I remember when Harley Davidson couldn't sell their motorbikes into India because of the fact that India, the tax was so high, the tariff was so high. And Harley was forced to build, I guess they built, I don't know, that was a while ago, but I think they built a factory in India in order to avoid paying the tariffs. And that's what people can do with us. They can build a factory here, a plant or whatever it might be here, and that includes the medical, that includes cars, that includes chips and semiconductors. That includes everything. If you build here, you have no tariffs whatsoever. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think our country is going to be flooded with jobs.
What should consumers expect? Are prices going to go up short-term,
well,
long-term?
Not necessarily. I mean, not necessarily. But I'll tell you what will go up is jobs. The jobs will go up tremendously. We're going to have great jobs for everybody. This is something that should have been done many years ago. China did it. I mean, China did it at a level that probably nobody's ever seen before.
Probably never seen it before. Not definitely.
If you manufactured a car, you couldn't send it into China. The tariff was so high. So everybody went and they built in China. It was no big secret. So we're going to see. But it's going to mean tremendous amounts of jobs. And ultimately, prices will stay the same, go down. But we're going to have a very dynamic country.
But if prices go up, Mr. President, because of these tariffs, who do you think voters should hold responsible?
Oh, I think what's going to go up is jobs are going to go up, and prices could go up somewhat.
By the way, the job market is an absolute disaster right now. If you try and apply for a job right now, it's very difficult. Guys, I have a super chat goal above in the chat. I would appreciate trying to super chat if you guys can. Try and support the live.
Short term, but prices will also go down. And I think the farmers are going to be helped by this very much because product is being dumped into our country and our farmers are getting hurt very badly by the last administration. The last administration hated our farmers, like at a level that I've never seen before. I think our farmers are going to be helped. Jobs are going to be helped, but our farmers are going to be helped. Our manufacturers are going to be helped. And again, if somebody wants to come in, including the car companies, if they want to come in and build car plants, they'll do it without tariffs, and therefore prices won't go up. There could be some short-term disturbance, but long-term, it's gonna make our country a fortune.
So Americans should prepare for some short-term pain.
No,
possibly.
you said that. I didn't say that. You know?
Well, if the prices go up,
Let's see what happens. Nobody really knows what is going to happen.
You literally told people to brace for prices to rise. Hold on, prices are going to rise. 210 Rain, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. 210 Rain, appreciate you, buddy, so much. Thoughts and tariffs. Thank you, 210 Rain.
Then we know that jobs are going to be produced at levels that we haven't seen before. We know that we think interest rates are going to ultimately be coming down because of things that happen, and they go hand in hand with the tariffs. But we think that the prices for some things, many things, it could be all things, will go down. Ultimately, will go down.
Mr. President, can you explain the timeline here, sir? There's a period of time for a review, a report, 180 days. Sure. What's the earliest date that you think tariffs will actually be implemented and executed?
Well, I would say, maybe I'll ask Howard to answer that because he's going to be the one that's implementing. What do you think?
Our studies
should be all complete by April 1st. So we'll hand the president the opportunity to start on April 2nd if he wants. So I think we'll be ready to go on April 1st, and we'll hand it to the president, and he'll make his decisions. But remember, if they drop their tariffs, prices for Americans are coming down. Our production's going up, and our costs are going down. Remember, it's a two-way street. That's why it's called reciprocal.
Have you spoken to any American CEOs?
This guy is fucking weird, dude. He's always standing next to Trump, giving these weird-ass fucking takes. What a fucking weirdo. Seriously. Who is that fucking guy? Can someone tell me?
CEOs directly about this? Are they calling you and asking for
I've spoken to many,
exceptions?
and many love it. And they say this is going to be the thing that makes our country really prosperous again. And this is going to be what pays down to $36 trillion in debt and all the other things.
Kristen, thank you, says, thank you, Adam. Having a rough time trying to be there. Glad to see you try. Thank you, Kristen. Appreciate you. Listen, I will be here. I will be here for the next 4 years to guide you through as best as I possibly can. So thank you for coming. Please stay, become a member, and we're going to get through these next 4 years. TikTok's probably within 50 or so days of getting banned, and I'm not going anywhere. So that's why I'm establishing a platform elsewhere besides TikTok. I know it's going to get banned, but it's also contributed in fascism by promoting Donald Trump, that ridiculous ban the app for 15 hours and then come back right away and thank Trump for restoring it. Yeah, fuck them. So become a member, plug into the community, and we're going to be here.
And
we're going to be here for the next 4 years, and we're going to blow this live stream up.
This is going to be, this is an amazing day. I think this is going to be a very big day and in a very positive way for our country. Yes, please.
Mr. President, you've talked about the VAT and the EU before and your concerns with how the EU treats you. Do you have a number in mind on the European Union? Do you have an idea where that number is going to land?
Well, what they are now is they have a 20% VAT tax, which we're considering to be similar or the same as the tariff. Plus, they charge lots of fees. And, you know, they're doing something else. European Union's been very tough on our companies. They sued Apple, they sued Google, they sued Facebook, they sued many other companies, and they're American companies, and the kind of numbers are staggering. And the court system over there is not very good to our companies. If you know that Apple had to pay, I think, $16 billion in a penalty, a court case that was really shocking because most people thought they would have won that court case, people that watched it. So they've been very tough. Airlines have called me up and they said, could you help us with Europe because they're charging us so many different fees. I got a call from the head of American, United, and other airlines saying every time we land a plane, we get just absolutely killed.
Bullshit.
By the European
everything this guy says comes with no proof.
Union. And so they haven't been treated as good. You know, we think the European Union is wonderful. We all love Europe, love the countries in Europe. But European Union has been absolutely brutal on trade. Canada's been very bad to us on trade, but now Canada's going to have to start paying up. And Canada's been tough on the military because they don't.
Killer Fuzz, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Says if tax goes down from an average of $14K to half, but my expenses go up $7,000 and jobs increase with consumer spending increase, it'll be great. Wait, what? If taxes go down from an average of $14K to half, who the hell told you that was going to happen? I appreciate the $10, Killer, but what are you talking about? If tax goes down from an average of $14K to half, you mean $7,000 on average? What are you talking about?
They have a
Thank you for the $10 super chat, though.
Very low military costs. They think we're going to, you know, protect them with our military, which is unfair. So Canada's going to be a very interesting situation.
You're actively under Trump's tax plan right now. Have your taxes gone down?
Because, you know, we just don't need their product. And yet,
Killer Fuzz, listen, I will be here for you the day that you come to me and say, Adam, I was wrong. Dad, I was wrong. You're a smart guy, and you were right, and I was wrong, and I want to be accepted into your community, and I will do that. Killer Fuzz, I will accept you. I will take you. It's okay to admit that trade wars are not good economics. And then you can come and say, Adam, Daddy, I'm sorry that I was wrong. And I will accept you, sweetheart. I love everyone. I accept everyone.
yet
People like to call me Daddy, some people.
they survive off the fact that we do 95% of what they do. And Canada is just absolutely, I say it, and sometimes people smile and sometimes they say great idea, but Canada, their taxes would come down greatly, their security would go up greatly.
You haven't admitted you're wrong yet, right? So there's a time frame, right? So what are we saying? 180 days? Let me put this in here. 180 days. If you do not admit you're wrong in 180 days, then you're just being willfully ignorant.
Amazing things happen.
Killer Fuzz says, you are an anger addict. What? What does that mean, Fuzz? Fuzz, listen, you're going to be able to call in soon. I'm setting up a server. You're going to be able to call in, come in, complain, cry, debate me, yell at me. All of that is coming next week. Hang on, everyone. Hang on, everyone, because we are this close to taking callers. Next week, we're going to take callers. If you are a member, you're going to be able to come up and say hi to me. Muppet Masher and above, you're going to be able to come up and talk to me about politics. But I'm going to take opposition on phone calls.
To Canada, and really Canada in this particular, why would we pay $200 billion a year in subsidies to Canada when they're not a state? You do that for a state, but you don't do that for somebody else's country. So I think Canada is going to be a very serious contender to be our 51st state.
Going with Canada,
No, I like the discourse. I like back and forth. I like opposition. I like people who disagree with me. I like all of that stuff. As long as you're not like, what's that guy's name? MAGA enforcer. As long as you're not like that idiot.
There's obviously a delay in implementing those tariffs.
Listen, Fuzz is a fucking fascist, but he's not as bad as MAGA. MAGA enforcer doesn't even debate. At least Fuzz tries to debate. You know, he's a muppet, but at least Fuzz tries to debate. MAGA enforcer doesn't even try and debate. He just says stupid shit.
Spoke to Governor Trudeau on numerous occasions, and we'll see what happens. But it just sets up so good for them. Look, the people would pay much less tax than they're paying right now. They'd have
Kristen, thank you for becoming a tadpole, Kristen.
perfect military protection. They don't have any
Yeah, MAGA enforcer's an idiot.
military protection because and you take a look at what's going on out there. You have Russian ships, you have China ships, you have...
I don't know who that is, right? Ethan Baum. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Chinese ships. You have a lot of ships out there, and people are in danger. This is a different world today. It's a different world. They need our protection. Yes.
You mentioned Elon Musk and the efforts that he's undertaking with your authority. You granted him new authority this week. Will he secure any new government contracts while he is working on Doge?
No, not if there's a conflict. If there's no conflict, I guess what difference does it make? But we won't let him do anything having to do with the conflict.
Are you personally
Oh my God.
checking to make sure there's no conflicts of interest?
Yeah.
No, it's important we listen to this, though.
I am.
He answers to you.
Sure, he does. First of all,
Checking to make sure there's
Birdie, thank you for the $2.79. No troglodytes. No troglodytes. Fuck the troglodytes.
no conflicts of
I
interest.
gotta go to the bathroom, guys. I'll be right back.
He answers to you.
Sure, he does. First of all, he wouldn't do it, and second of all, we're not going to let him do anything with there's a conflict of interest.
Mr. President, your negotiations with the EU there's discussions ongoing already. How quickly do you expect that you'll hear back from them about any of these other measures?
I can't tell you, yeah. The EU's been very nasty. It's just been, they haven't treated us properly. Look, we were great to them on NATO. Essentially, it's a similar group of countries. When I came in, my first term, I raised their fees. I mean, they were not paying. We were paying for, in my opinion, almost all of NATO. And now, I had the bad moment with the press where the press said, well, does this mean you won't protect them? And I said, I won't protect them if they're not paying. But because I said that, the Secretary General, as you know, said it was the greatest thing he's ever seen because the money came pouring in. But they don't treat us right on trade. They don't treat us right on the military either. I mean, if you look at Ukraine, we're in for probably $200 billion more than Europe. Why are we in for more than Europe? We're in for more than Europe. I mean, think of it, or NATO. I mean, let's call it NATO because Canada's in. By the way, Canada is just about the lowest payer. Also, they shouldn't be. They are just about the lowest payer in NATO. In addition,
somebody in chat said you don't know Ethan, Bomb, and Jay. Jessica, I don't watch TikTok. I don't watch those fucking lives. They're pointless. No, I don't watch them. So I don't know. I might know them. I'm just really bad with names. I suck with names. I might know them if I saw them, but I don't know. Amy, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says inflation is already on the rise, and he's talking about us being prosperous. And these troglodytes will defend him as they lose everything. Amy, inflation is up right now. Right now, prices are rising. Inflation is up. It's in the latest report.
and everything else. So Canada's really been taken advantage of. And if they had to pay just something modestly fair, they wouldn't be able to succeed as a country. And that's why I feel they have to become a state. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is it?
They think you are great. Jessica, this isn't a shot at them. I don't watch TikTok. I am bad with names. If you showed me a picture of them, I bet you I'd say, oh, I know who that is. Names? Don't even start. I don't know names. Describe them to me, please. Give me like a visual of who they are, and I will probably remember. Names? Usernames? Nope. I suck at usernames. I don't remember people's usernames. I just can't. I'm sure they're cool. I'm sure they're awesome. I'm sure I like them. I just suck at names. Justine, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, thank you for all you do. It's extremely hard to set up on so many apps all the time you put in. You're the reason I got into politics and know anything. Justine, keep chugging along. I'm only on 2 apps right now. Substack and YouTube. Those are the 2 apps I'm grinding on.
Is it your expectation that partners will offer major concessions and that you actually don't end up applying those tariffs?
No, I think that a lot of them will stay the same, and whatever they pay, I'll pay. I mean, we'll have a lot of them stay the same. I think some. Look, I heard they, as an example.
Please don't take what I'm saying, I don't know people, as a slight. It's not a slight. Everyone who watches me or knows me knows I suck with names. If you showed me the person, I bet you I'd say, yep, I know who that is. I suck with names. I don't know, my brain doesn't retain information for some reason. I don't know why. If you showed me their picture, I bet you I know them. I bet you I like them.
EU lowered their...
Ethan always has on sunglasses. It's not ringing a bell. I'm sorry. I don't know. I bet you I know them, though. I probably just don't remember the name.
Tax on cars down to the exact same amount that they were much higher. They were approximately 5 times higher. And they lowered them down to the exact tax that we're charging. That took place like yesterday or the day before. Is that a correct statement? I think so, yeah.
Do you expect any exemptions or waivers?
I don't expect that.
Let me look it up and see if I know who this person is.
No, this is a simple system. I mean, there wouldn't be any. And in the case of Apple, I gave them a waiver, an exemption in my first term because Samsung was in South Korea. And Samsung didn't have to pay the tax because it was a tax on China. And Apple makes a lot of their product in China. So I did that because it wouldn't have been fair. But now this applies to everybody across the board. This is a much simpler way of doing it, much better way.
You had that major call yesterday with President Putin of Russia. President Zelensky responded today basically saying,
see, I looked it up and I do recognize that person. Where is it? Damn it. I clicked it off. Ethan Baum. I do know who this is. I've seen this person before. They're a liberal, right? Yeah, I like that guy. I don't know him personally, but I think he's cool. I've seen him before a couple times. I think 1 or 2 times I've seen him. I think he's cool.
any agreements
I'm just bad with names, that's all.
Accept unless they're made with Ukraine. Will Ukraine have a seat at that table for those negotiations?
Of course they would. I mean, they're part of it. We would have Ukraine, we'd have Russia, and we'll have other people involved too. A lot of people, a lot of forks in the a lot of forks in this game. I'll tell you what, this is a very interesting situation, but the Ukraine war has to end. The young people are being killed at levels that nobody's seen since World War II.
Oh my God. I can't stand this guy's voice.
And it's a ridiculous war, and it has to end. We had a good talk with President Putin. I had a good talk with President Zelensky, very good talk. And somebody said, oh, I should have called Zelensky first. I don't think so. I mean, we have to find out whether or not Russia wants to make a deal. I know that Zelensky wants to make a deal because he told me that. But I now know that Russia wants to make a deal.
Did you ask Secretary Hegseth to walk back his comments yesterday saying Ukraine won't join NATO and won't go back to pre-2014 borders because those are bargaining chips you could use?
No, I didn't. Somebody told me to, but I thought his comments were good yesterday, and they're probably good today. They're a little bit softer, perhaps, but I thought his comments yesterday were pretty accurate.
But yeah, as a correction, I do know who that person is. I've seen them before. I think they do good shit. I'm bad with names. I think they're cool though. Yeah, I've seen them before. They do good shit.
I don't see any way that a country in Russia's position could allow them, just in their position, could allow them to join NATO. I don't see that happening. And long before President Putin, Russia was very strong on the fact that I believe that's the reason the war started. Because Biden went out and said that they could.
Oh my God, you're blaming Biden for the war in Ukraine, Muppet?
Join NATO, and he shouldn't have said that. As soon as he said that, I said, you know what? You're going to have a war now, and I was right about that. This is a war that would have never happened if I were president.
But you don't think it's President Biden's fault, not President Putin? I mean, he's the one.
I think Biden is incompetent, and I think when he said that they could join NATO, I thought that was a very stupid thing to say. I thought when he said, well, it depends if it's a minor incursion. In other words, it's okay if Russia does a minor incursion. I thought that was a very foolish thing to say.
What do we expect?
The other thing that got it started was how badly Milley and these stupid people, the bad generals, how badly they did with Afghanistan. I was going to pull out, but we were pulling out with dignity and strength, and we were going to take our equipment with us and everything else. I mean, what they're doing is what they did with that. I think Putin looked at that mess and he said, wow, this is a great time. I'm going to go in. But what the Americans said, I'm not blaming them.
Let's be clear. He saw what was happening on January 6th, said, yeah, this would be a great time to go in because the United States is so fucking divided. That's why he went in. He saw the U.S. was so divided on January 6th. Guys, we are 3 of 10 of the goal, the live goal. I'd appreciate if you guys want to do a super chat. I read your comment out loud, answer it, all that. I'd appreciate it. Supporting the live.
But I will say what they said had a big influence on his deciding to go in. Yeah.
When Elon Musk met with Prime Minister Modi earlier today, did he do so as an American CEO or did he do so as a representative of the U.S. government?
Are you talking about me?
No, Elon Musk.
Elon, I don't know. They met. And I assume he wants to do business in India. But India is a very hard place to do business in.
Oh my God. So this is about doing business in India.
Because of the tariffs. They have the highest tariffs just about in the world, and it's a hard place to do business. No, I would imagine he met...
No, I just want to finish this this goal for tonight.
Possibly because, he's running a company. He's doing this as something that he's felt strongly about for a long time, because he sees what's happening, and he sees how the country is really being hurt badly by all of the fraud, waste, and abuse. Yeah.
Can you imagine giving Donald Trump a big, wet kiss on the mouth? The chat is going to get super mad at me right now. Can you imagine being Melania and being like, "Good night, honey"? It's nighttime. Melania said he goes to bed around 11:30. He wakes up around 6. Give him a big wet kiss. "Good night, Donnie." Hold on. Let me give him a kiss. This is long overdue. Oh, God. I've
The CEO or meeting with a representative of your government.
People are going to get so mad right now. Birdie, thank you for the 279 super chat. Birdie, thank you for the 279 super chat. Appreciate you, Birdie. Rory, thank you for the 499 super chat. This dingbat always has an agenda. Always some kind of undercover fucking agenda. Kristen, thank you for the $5 super chat. Super sticker, Kristen. Appreciate you, Kristen. I gave Donald Trump a big wet kiss in the mouth.
Well, he's meeting with me in a little while.
The chat is going to get super mad at me right now.
So I'm going to ask him that question. All right? I'll ask him that question. Yeah.
On auto tariffs, what should we expect, sir? You mentioned obviously steel and aluminum and pharmaceuticals. What are you thinking about auto tariffs? We haven't talked about that much.
I think autos are coming soon. I think they're all coming more or less at the same time. And it's not going to be a big shock to the system. But what it's going to do is it's going to bring pharmaceuticals back to our country. Much more important than the money. It's a lot of money, but it's going to bring
Honey.
pharmaceuticals back to our country. It's going to bring chips back to our country. It's going to bring automobile.
I mean, I think the reason Donald Trump is so mad is because his wife doesn't kiss him.
We're going to do a lot more automobile manufacturing in our country. When I did this, when I announced this during the campaign, they were going to build the largest car plant in the world in Mexico. It was almost...
I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. Forgive me. Forgive me, chat. Come on. Finish the super chat goal before the live ends.
Under construction. It was just starting. And when they heard me make that statement, and they thought I was going to win the election, actually, it was a few months before the election itself. China was building the car plant. It was going to be the largest in the world. They immediately stopped construction. You can see the foundations there. They immediately stopped. When they heard I was doing this, that would have destroyed Detroit. It would have destroyed Michigan. This plant would have taken up more than almost the whole state built. And it would have been very destructive. When they heard...
No, wait, we need to change this. Sharon said, "Did he give you tongue?" Whoa! Sharon! You have now crossed the line, Sharon. Did he give you tongue? Jesus!
Me speak, and they said, "Wow, if he gets in, we're gonna lose our shit." So they stopped building. That's the impact that tariffs have. Again, I say it, and I say it loudly. It's the most beautiful word, but now I say religion, love, and a couple of other things are more beautiful, because I got in a lot of problem with the fake news when they said, other things are more important. God is more important, but these are the words. But I would say it's number 4 or 5. To me, it's the most beautiful. And I'll tell you what.
Can you imagine French kissing Trump? Holy shit, dude. Fuck no.
I think really reciprocal tariffs, those 2 words, reciprocal makes tariffs really fair.
There'd be no exemptions, right? It would be all auto imports?
Any exemptions now because you don't need to. With reciprocal, you don't need to.
Mr. President, Gavin Clegg just arrived at the IRS.
Fox Radio.
Autumn, you said you don't want to know where that tongue's been. Listen, that tongue hasn't been anywhere. All right. Donald Trump does not get freaky. Donald Trump gets no... Donald Trump gets nothing. That tongue has been nowhere except in a fucking mound of mac sauce.
Do you have an update on the TikTok negotiations?
Yeah, we have a lot of people.
Timeline's running out, isn't it?
Well, I have 90 days from about 2 weeks ago, right? And I'm sure it can be extended, but let's see. I don't think you'll need to. We have a lot of people interested in TikTok, and I hope to be able to make a deal. I think it would be good. You know, people have learned it's very popular, and we'll have to probably get approval from China to do it. But we have a lot of people that are interested, and a lot of people, I think China will be interested because it's to their benefit too.
Oh my God. TikTok is so cooked.
So I look forward to that. But we have a lot of people that are interested in TikTok.
Oh my God. TikTok is fucked.
Quite a few.
Mr. President, Doge workers arrived today. Gavin Clegg and others arrived today at the IRS. Do you expect to close the IRS, or what are you expecting?
No, I don't expect it, but I think that the Internal Revenue Service will be looked at like everybody else. Just about everybody's going to be looked at. So it's they're doing a hell of a job. It's an amazing job they're doing, and you know that.
TikTok, you were fun while it lasted, but you're definitely cooked.
Force is building these. I call it the
Trump has complete control of you.
Force of super geniuses, but it's building. And you know, they go up and they talk to some of the people about certain deals, and the people get all tongue-tied. They can't talk because these people get it. They're very smart people. We need smart people. Yes, Brian.
On tariffs, sir.
Yeah, Brian.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, I know that during the campaign, it was huge in Pennsylvania as far as bringing back manufacturing. Have we talked to any CEOs since the tariffs were announced on steel and aluminum? What's the feedback from those guys?
They are in love with it. As you know, in Pennsylvania, U.S. Steel is through the roof. They're all through the roof. That's why I didn't want U.S. Steel to make a deal with Japan or anybody else. I think it's going to do great. But I think maybe more than anybody else, the steel companies and aluminum companies, they're in love with what's happened. And this will eventually be the car companies and chip companies. We have to have chips made in this country. Right now, everything's made in Taiwan practically, almost all of it, a little bit in South Korea. But everything, almost all of it is made in Taiwan. And we want it to be made. We want those companies to come to our country, in all due respect. You know, they took the business away. Taiwan took our chip business away. We had Intel, we had these great companies that did so well, and it was taken from us, and we want that business back. We want it back in the United States. And if they don't bring it back, we're not going to be very happy.
And you mentioned pharmaceuticals as well in China. That's national security.
No, TikTok's going to be negotiated to some kind of right-wing, I don't know, right-wings investor group or something. I don't know. TikTok is basically fucked, basically. TikTok is in big trouble. Now you have to scrub your lips with Brillo. Yeah, that's what has to happen.
Security to bring that back.
China and other places. We want to get the pharmaceutical and drug business back into the United States, where it should be. Right?
Sir, on tariffs, are you concerned that the countries that would be most affected, like India, would just shift their trading to China?
No, I'm not concerned about anything, really. I mean,
TikTok is on the fast track to a conservative. Is Meta going to buy it? No, I think it's going to be some kind of conservative group. I don't know. It's probably, I don't know. Look, if TikTok sells to a left-wing organization, I'll go back. If TikTok sells to a nonpartisan organization, I'll go back. If TikTok sells to a right-wing organization, you will never see me on there again. But I hope they sell to a nonpartisan, middle-of-the-road organization so I can go back. But As of right now, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Jessica, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, I don't know what to say. Hi. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for the $2. Fletcher says $5 on super chat. Get some penicillin too. You don't know where that mouth has been. I agree.
I'm just doing what's fair. This is a very fair thing. This should have been done a long time ago. I would have done it, but then COVID hit. I was getting ready to do this.
No, I'd go back to TikTok if they I'm not going to stop on YouTube. I would stay on YouTube. Also, I would simulcast on YouTube and TikTok. I'm not going to stop YouTube. But if they sell to a left-wing kind of nonpartisan organization, I will simulcast, meaning I will do TikTok as well as YouTube. I will never do just TikTok again, though. If it's like the days of just doing TikTok are over. But if TikTok sells to some kind of like middle of the road, nonpartisan, non-right-wing organization, investor group, I will go back. But they have to sell to some kind of middle of the road, leftist, something in between their organization, and I will simulcast on TikTok.
Years ago, and first time we had the most successful economy in history, and then COVID hit, and this was going to be the thing that I was most waiting to do, but
I still think TikTok's probably going to get banned, though. It's likely it's going to get banned.
It was awfully hard to do this with Italy and France and Spain, and all those people were dying, and then we put tariffs on. I have a big heart.
Sir, on Ukraine, when
I have a big heart. I'm a good guy.
Putin says that he really wants peace, do you believe him?
Yeah, I do. I believe he wants peace. I believe that President Putin, when I spoke to him yesterday, I mean, I know him very well. Yeah, I think he wants peace. I think he would tell me if he did.
Guys, you will be able to watch me on YouTube regardless. If you don't want to go back on TikTok, I'm staying on YouTube. So regardless, the only thing that will change is that TikTok will be a simulcast, meaning I will be on TikTok also, right? I'm not doing only TikTok anymore. The days of me just doing TikTok and other apps is not happening. So if you guys are on YouTube, subscribe here, create memberships here. This is going to be my primary platform. If they sell to a left-wing organization or a left-wing investor group, you may see me simulcast on there. But that's it. It's not gonna be the primary place that I stream anymore.
I'd like to see peace.
Do you trust?
It's Trump's platform now, so we'll see what happens.
I believe that, I believe that he would like to see something happen. I trust him on this subject. I think he'd like to see something happen. I think it could have happened a long time ago. I think Biden, number one, it shouldn't have started, but it did. And now all those cities are knocked down like demolition sites. All those beautiful golden towers are knocked down. There's nothing going to replace them. But much more importantly, you lost millions of people. A lot of soldiers, but you lost millions of people. When they knocked down those cities, and they're all laying down on the side, they're laying down just in ashes and all crumbled up concrete.
Substack and YouTube are going to be my primary platforms over the next year. So those are the places to sub.
They literally look like a world-class demolition site. And many of them, almost all of them, but many of them, and this should have been done by Biden years ago. This should have never been allowed to happen. I know he's a friend of yours.
But couldn't Putin just withdraw his
He's a friend of
today?
CNN. That's why nobody watches CNN anymore, because they have no credibility. Okay, who else? Yes, please.
Sir, if you can find a buyer in the United States for TikTok, do you think Xi Jinping will authorize the sale of it, or will he?
I'm going to make it worthwhile for China to do it. I think so. I mean, I got to know TikTok because during the election, I ended up with 36% higher than my opponent with youth. Okay, that never happened before. That's always been a Democrat thing, youth. It became a Trump thing. And I think TikTok, Joe Rogan was a part of it. Some of the great people that I did interviews with were a part of it. But I think that TikTok was I think it was a big part. Look, as you know, we were up by 36% with youth. The Republican was never up with youth. And I focused on TikTok, and I found it to be amazing, actually, and very fair. And I think the image of TikTok is different than it was before the election. I think people saw it and they view it as a positive, not a negative. I think it'll be to China's advantage to have the deal be made. Yeah.
How much money do you think you'll raise from tariffs on an annual basis?
That's the most interesting question. I think it'll be a staggering amount. It will be the external, I call it the External Revenue Service. That was a name that was devised by a few of us, but I think it's going to be a staggering amount.
We've heard the number 1 trillion floated in meetings with senators. Is that a number you've thought of?
I don't know, but already the Senate's saying, well, wait a minute, they're looking at some of the numbers and they're saying, whoa, look, we want to, I say America first, I say make America great again. That's what we're doing. I think it's the most important thing I've signed. I've signed some very important things. Right to try was so important. I mean, a lot of important things. Space Force, the biggest tax cuts in history. This could be one of the most important things that we've...
Guys, a Republican just said Adam is down bad. Can we complete this goal here at the top and show them we're not down bad? Can we complete this super chat goal at the top, $5 and above, to show this Muppet we're not down bad?
Do
you expect the Russians and President Putin to attend the summit in Saudi Arabia?
Eventually, yeah. Not quite yet. It's a little early. They're having a meeting in Munich tomorrow. Russia is going to be there with our people. Ukraine is also invited, by the way. Not sure exactly who's going to be there from any country, but high-level people from Russia, from Ukraine, and from the United States.
Do you want to have Russia back to the G7, sir?
I'd love to have them back. I think it was a mistake to throw them out. Look, it's not a question of liking Russia or not liking Russia. It was the G8, and I said, what are you doing? You guys, all you talk about is Russia, and they should be sitting at the table. I think Putin would love to be back. Obama and a couple of other people made a mistake and they got Russia out. It's very possible that if that was the G8, you wouldn't have had the problem with Ukraine. And if I was president, you definitely wouldn't have had the problem with Ukraine. Russia would have never attacked Ukraine. But you ask a very good question, the G8. It used to be the G8 and then these people threw them out. And I was arguing with Trudeau and with numerous
4G3N T or orange 4Gen T orange with the $10 super chat. Trump is down bad, sundowning bad, that is. Catherine, thank you for the $10 Venmo. Thank you, Catherine, for the $10 Venmo. Laura Shockley, thank you for the $10 Venmo. Appreciate you. Yeah, what's up, Muppets? What's up, Muppets? Emily, thank you for the $5 Cash App. Catherine, thank you for the $10 Venmo. Says Trump is down bad. For the Down Bad Fund. For the Down Bad Fund.
Of the people. Actually, Prime Minister Abe, a great man from Japan, agreed with me 100%. And some of the others did too. But I got there, it was a G7, as you know. They had already...
Laura, thank you for the $10 super chat. Says, Adam, you're the best. Thank you, Laura.
...been terminated. I think it would have been very helpful, and it still would be helpful to have Russia be a part of that mix. And I think if they were, I don't think you would have had the problem that you have right now.
Russia is
part of the G20.
They kicked them out, of course, because they illegally annexed Crimea. I mean, how would you have responded if Russia invaded or took over?
They took Crimea during...
Gifters dominating MAGA in the chat. People smashing the gifting goal over MAGA's head in the chat.
Obama.
2014.
They took, now they're looking to take the whole thing. Then they took a big chunk of land and people, as you know, during Bush. And now they're trying to take the whole thing during...
Adam trying to read the name. Yeah, that's very typical of me. That's very typical of me. I'm bad with names. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone.
Biden. You know, the only one that didn't...
Agent Orange. Sorry, Agent Orange. What'd I say? 4G3NT Orange.
Didn't give him anything as Trump. They never took anything with Trump. Nothing. Not 2 inches of property of land. But Crimea was Obama. And then Bush gave him a lot, if you remember. And then, in fact, it's a sort of a standard little phrase. And Biden's giving him everything because this is a war that shouldn't have been had. And the only one that didn't give him anything is Trump. It's just the way it is.
Guys, I try my best, okay? I am not good with names. You guys put all sorts of weird numbers and letters in your names, Muppets. I cannot fucking decipher what you're trying to say. Simplify it, Muppets! Bryce, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Said, hope this helps Zaddy. It does, Bryce. Thank you so much, Bryce. Appreciate you, buddy.
Wall Street about these tariffs. So there's been some nervousness on Wall Street about the impact.
So, I mean, there hasn't been very much, and I think it's going to make the United States stronger, and in many ways it could make other countries stronger too. You know, other countries want to have a strong United States. They want to have a strong America, and I think it's going to make us very, very strong, much stronger. And we have a lot of work we're doing on the military. Our military already, I've authorized some contracts to be built that are very substantial. We're building the greatest equipment in the world. We have the greatest military equipment in the world. We're building it. At some point, when things settle down, I'm going to meet with China, and I'm going to meet with Russia, in particular, those two. And I'm going to say, there's no reason for us to be spending almost $1 trillion on military. There's no reason for you to be spending $400 billion. China's going to be at 400 billion. We're at $1 trillion. We're going to be at close to $1 trillion. And I'm going to say, we can settle this on, we can spend this on.
Guys, you have to understand, I am a boomer when it comes to names. I don't remember names. I cannot remember who's who. You guys put weird numbers and shit in names. I can't decipher what you're trying to say. I'm a boomer when it comes to this shit.
Other things. We don't have to spend this on military because, and I'm going to be meeting with China. You know, we were trying to de-escalate nuclear, and I was in a position where Russia had agreed and China had agreed we were going to start, and then we had a rigged election, so that never took place. But this one was too big to rig. We won by so much that it was too big to rig.
You want to do the China meeting in the United States, or would you travel to China for that?
For what?
A China meeting. Would you do that here or
I
there?
tell people all the time, you know, the question is who's going to have the first meeting, where are you going to, I say this to Putin, to President Xi, I say to everybody.
What's up, Margie?
Never bothered me, you know. I'm willing to say I'll go first. It doesn't matter. It's the end result that counts. So it doesn't make any difference.
When do you want to have a conversation about global defense spending, you, China,
Well, I'd
Russia?
like to have that as soon as things settle down.
And Dino12, thank you for the $10 super chat. Says, I highly recommend scrubbing your lips clean from the smooch with the orange shit stain. Thank you, Andino. I will do.
I'm going to have that conference primarily with China and Russia because those are the two that really are out there. And we're going to have them spend a lot less money, and we're going to spend a lot less money. And I know they're going to do it.
Thank you, Andino.
They agreed to it. We were talking about denuclearized, denuking, and President Putin and I agreed that we were going to do it in a very big way.
In a very big way, me and Putin, I did everything right and they indicted me.
There's no reason for us to be building brand new nuclear weapons. We already have so many you could destroy the world 50 times over, 100 times over.
Then why fuck around?
And here we are building new nuclear weapons, and they're building nuclear weapons, and China's building new nuclear weapons, and China's trying to catch up because, you know, they're very substantially behind, but within 5 or 6 years, they'll be even. And we're all
China is ahead in every technological aspect.
Spending a lot of money that we could be spending on other things that are actually, hopefully, much more productive. Hopefully, there'll never be a time when we need those weapons. If there's ever a time when we need nuclear weapons, like the kind of weapons that we're building and that Russia has and that China has to a lesser extent, but will have. That's going to be very...
All right, everyone. I'm going to head to bed. I will be on in the morning, live early in the morning tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah, tomorrow is Friday, the 14th. I will be live early tomorrow morning on Friday. I hope to see you then. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the gifting goals, everyone who became a member, all that stuff. I appreciate you. I love you all. Thank you so much, seriously. Everyone who contributed, thank you so much. I'm going to go to bed early tonight. I'm tired as fuck tonight for some reason. But we got a lot of good stuff ahead, so make sure you guys become members. Join the channel. You don't need to join the channel when I'm live. You can join when I'm not live. You know, you can join when I'm not live if you want. All right? Love you. Take care, everyone. See you tomorrow morning, bright and early on Substack. We will go Substack, and then we will go early on YouTube. We're going Substack and then YouTube right after. Substack and then YouTube right after. So make sure you head over to Substack. Make sure you drop a sub. Get over on Substack for Coffee in the Morning with Adam Cray, Coffee with Cray, and then we will go right over to YouTube. Alicia, thank you so much. Thank you for always pronouncing my name right. Alicia, your name's easy to pronounce. Love you guys. Take care. See you tomorrow bright and early. Love you all. Take care. See you tomorrow bright and early. Go to bed. Go to bed right now. If you're not in bed, I'm going to check. I'm going to make sure you're in bed. Make sure you're tucked in under the blankets and sound asleep within 15 minutes. You understand me? Within 15 minutes, I want you tucked under those covers and asleep. Get your ass to bed. And I'm not going to tell you twice. Get your ass in bed, Muppet. Get your ass in bed and go to sleep right now. I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Love you all. Take care. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. All of you that contributed. I love you so much. Thank you. I will see you bright and early. Take care. Shanzi, thank you for the $2 super chat. Commend you for listening this long. Can't stand it. Yeah, that's politics in 2025. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Take care. Get your ass tucked in, or I'll come in and punish you. Good night.